Hey guys, my name's Mannequin. Welcome back to Remixing from Scratch. Sorry I didn't get a video up on Monday. Things were kind of busy. We just got back from vacation and everything like that, so I had to deal with that. But I do have one good piece of news here that is I actually ordered a new screen here. So we're finally going to get rid of these wonderful black bars that we all are good friends with by now. So that'll be something. I'm not sure when it'll come in, but that'll be a nice improvement there. Okay, so the one thing I wanted to cover today was actually suggested by someone else. I had mentioned, like, when I just started this whole project, I mentioned that I was going to maybe do a pitched snare build. And so right now we just have these snares that just kind of... Yeah, and then when it goes to here... Okay, so there's nothing too fancy about it, so I figured I'd just kind of, we'll grab these and then we'll turn it into a pitched snare build here. So there's actually, there's a few ways you could do this. You could actually get a pitch plugin, like pitch shifter, and then set the mix to 100% and then just pull it up. Except that sounds nasty and it really kills drums. So I'm going to show you how to do this my way, and there might be an easier way to do this, but this is the way that I've found that works best for me. So the first thing you got to do is you got to get these your snare, and in this case I have 2 layers, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but we're going to work to see what we could get here. So the best thing to do here, I'm not sure if bouncing in place will actually get these, both of these, and throw it onto one track. Actually, let's give it a shot. We'll see. Functions. No, it's here we go. You just bring down this menu here, and then you got bounce in place, which is bounce regions here, and then we'll just say snare build. Destination will be new track. We're gonna mute the original because we don't care. And then bypass effects, include audio tail. That sounds about right. We'll just do that here. So we're going to bounce only these 2 regions, and theoretically, if everything worked according to plan, we should get the same as if we would have disabled the audio effects here, send effects, and we'll unmute these just to listen, just to make sure it's the same. Which is the same as that one. Okay, I believe so. Either that or it's just this one. I think it's got both. Yeah, it's got both. Okay, so we now have this nice, wonderful snare here that we can use for whatever the heck we want. So the first thing I want to do is notice that both of these did have reverb before. Which I just turned off to kind of show you guys that it did end up bouncing correctly. Mute those parts and unsolo everything here. So so I can't just like replace this and expect it to all be, work perfectly. Oh, I accidentally pulled this over from there instead of copying it. So we need to put that back. Okay, so anyway, we have this snare hit here, and we could go on and drop the reverbs on bus 2 and 4 that we have, but I'm actually not going to bother doing that right now because we're not going to use this. The reason I actually bounced this down was for the sole reason of having this one piece right here that was both of our snares. Now, what I could do is grab the... If I click this here, I will be able to convert to new sampler track, which I should just have to convert to new sampler track. And then it'll give me a whole bunch of options here, and I'm going to talk about these really quick just to kind of give you an idea. Create zones from regions or transient markers. And now regions would be if I had like a whole bunch of these, like you see here, it'd create one note for each region. Additionally, you could go to transient markers, which is kind of what you see when you pop in flex time and you get those lines. So we're actually going to do regions because we don't want to split this up. We just have one region. We just want one note. One-shot zones, no idea what that is, but I imagine it has something to do with splitting up the audio file even further. EXS instrument name, snare build. I'm going to name this snare build time, just so that I remember. And trigger note range, you typically don't want it C0 because C0 is like really low, so I'm just going to bring it up to C2 will do. C2, okay. C2, 2, and then we'll bring it up to probably C4 will be good enough. Just because, just to kind of so we know what we're doing and what range we have on the piano roll. Okay, and then just okay. And now we have this note here. which is, here we go, which is the exact same as this thing that we just converted, and it muted it also. So, so now what can we do? We got this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually pull this to here, and I'm gonna replicate our snare build. Now, just drag this up here so I can see what I'm doing here. Actually, let's get rid of this. Give us some more screen space. I know what I'm doing here. Okay, so bring that over here, and then we know that it goes one note, and whoops. I am holding Alt on my keyboard, just so you know. Oh, and that reminds me, I forgot to start my little keystroke recorder here, so let me just pop that open. Okay, I got it set up. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure that I had that set up and working correctly before I went back in here. Okay, so I didn't actually change anything to the project while I was messing around there. But anyway, what we have here is you're just going to extend this to the entire space that we're going to need here, and just keep copying this. And actually, I'm going to mute this so it stops, sounding like I'm hitting myself in the face every single time I copy a whole bunch of these. Drag it over here, and now there is a nicer way you could do this. Instead of just individually copying the things, you could do, you could copy the whole region, just shrink it down to the size, and then just click, where is it? Join, here we go. And then we have this entire thing here, and let me just double check. This is right where it gets, so it's going faster, so I have the playhead set here, and then I just select everything that I need to shorten, which is, actually, I think it's only to 30, yep. And then I just bring these to half the size, and then duplicate them again. And then I get this nice, and then from here, we do the same thing, except we're gonna actually shorten them to quarter the size, and then it'll be a lot faster. And that should be good. Now what I do need to keep in mind is that it stops here. So right here I'm actually gonna have a longer hit. And bring that over there. Okay, so that's basically, that would replace the entire snare. If I added the reverb and then I just brought this one thing back in, actually. Yeah, I need that one note right there, but that's no big deal. Just do create empty MIDI region and then drop that right there. C2 is where I need it though. C2. Yeah. Okay. So then theoretically I could just mute this, slap the reverb on, and then it'd be exactly the same, which actually is worth doing. So bus 2 is -8 and bus 4 is -13.4. Okay. Bus 2 will be -8, and then bus, what did we say, 4 or 3? I can't remember. 4, yeah. 4 was -13.4, yeah. -13.4. Sweet. And then we have the exact same. So that's the exact same thing. Now, we need to make this usable. Actually, right now, as you could tell, there was only one note that I could actually play back on this, and then there are some other things we need to fix. So first of all, thing you want to keep in mind is that when you start to do these snare builds and you don't have, just the way you have this set up, you need to have the release pretty far so that it gets the entire audio clip, even if your note's only yay long. So so that's one of the things you want to keep in mind, that you just keep the release nice and long so it gets the entire audio file and things kind of have room to overlap. And then the next thing you want to keep in mind is that the range and the pitch will not work automatically, if I recall correctly. So I might be able to take, actually let's just give it a shot. So we pull this up here, and to access the pitch, I believe I showed it earlier on in the series, but you just click this little button here, and then you switch this to pitch bend. And just draw something in there by clicking around, set that at 0 to start off with, and then I'm going to bring it all the way up to positive 62, and then I'm going to drop it back down because kind of what I have in mind by way of what I'm going to do here. There we go. And so what this should sound like right now is, you can't really hear it doing all that much. It's doing a little bit, but you could tell it's kind of like it's not doing as much as we want. And the reason is it's only at pitch bend 2 notes. So the maximum is usually 12 for almost all synthesizers I've run into, although there are ways to bypass that and get it farther. So I'm just going to set it to 12 and we'll see how it sounds. So that's basically what I wanted. Now I am gonna, whoops, why did that jump over there? Bring this over here, and so I get this, so I get the full hit there. Okay. Now, the one problem is though, it kind of just builds constantly. And if you ever heard a snare build, you know that's generally not what happens. So what I'm gonna do here now is switch my tool right here to the automation curve tool. I prefer to have this one on my pointer and the pencil tool because that's generally how things go, but I'm going to actually switch it to the curve tool here so that I could do what I need to do here. So, and then I'm going to just hold control. Actually, this would not be control. This would be command for you guys. And then I'm going to just drag down. And what that does is it basically, you get very little pitch change. And I could just actually leave that up at the highest pitch there for the final one. I'm not sure what I'll do. I need to actually listen to it in context of the track. But I think it's good now. So the deal is, one of the things you want to keep in mind is with this particular setup, sometimes you want to actually keep the curve, but not start it until halfway through. And then you don't have to have as extreme of a curve as, basically I just drug this down all the way. So you can't bring it, you can't curve it any farther down. But alternatively, you could actually just bring this halfway and then adjust the curve more to your liking. But this actually sounds pretty good, so I think I'm going to stick with this. And I'm going to change one thing because I kind of like, I like heavier snare builds. So we'll listen to it. So I'm going to just do a boost there so I can get a little bit of like the ringing body. That kind of sounds like that. And then I'm going to get this one here and then bring this up to get as some actual bass-ish. Okay, we'll stick with that for now just to see how that sounds in context of the track. And let's just listen to it for now, and then we'll see where we can go from there. If it's good, it might actually turn out okay, so we'll see. Okay, so I have decided that I do want this at the higher pitch, so I'm going to bring this up all the way up, just keep it up, and then I'm going to drop it back down for the reason that I do want this snare hit right here to actually be at the regular pitch. So, theoretically, I should go... Okay, so it's basically, I think we have pretty much what we need by way of the pitch build. Now, you could actually get in and delete these, but I am going to, actually, let's just do this. Create track stack, drop it into a folder stack, old snare build, if I could spell. Okay, so the reason I'm keeping that there is for when I give you guys this project. That way you could actually see everything I did, the processing of the original samples, and you don't lose that. Because right now, there's pretty much all I did now was add an EQ. And I was actually, you probably noticed I bypassed and then re-enabled the EQ just to kind of show you the difference it made for the snare build. And I really like the difference it made. So I was just going to play this back and do that again to kind of show you guys. Okay, so the other thing I want to change here before I wrap things up is that I actually do not like how this is turning out right here by way of the bass. It just kind of keeps rumbling behind. And it doesn't seem to have any flavor. Now, right now, to kind of remedy that, I'm just going to move these over and then mute it. And then I am going to drag this over. And then I'm going to cut the end off. Where do I have that cut? So it's about halfway through there. So I just get this. No, wait. Oh, no, wait. I just have to look at that. Okay. So just bring this right here. And if I could do this, split by playhead, delete that, and well, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to join these and then join these. Actually, the way that was working, I didn't really need to do that because there was already nothing there. Okay, anyway, so the reason I'm bringing back this here. Now, it still doesn't sound all that great, but I really wasn't liking the way it was just rumbling on continually, and then it switches to kind of having those breaks. So now the other option would be to get this and actually turn it into a bass line where you actually have something going on instead of just like this rumbling noise. Because I don't know if that fits with the way I've changed it up. So we might tweak that. I'm not sure if I'm going to deal with that right now, though. So, although I was suggested to kind of do some vocal, like some more interesting things to the vocals, which I might do, except I'm going to have to like toy around in this and figure out if I could find, get an idea, get inspired for something I could do with that. But for now, I'm just going to kind of leave it as is until I get any inspiration, and then I'll go through the actual process with you guys. But yeah, that'd be just kind of my process of hopping in, messing around, and then not saving the project, and then going in and doing the actual tweaks while recording to show you guys, what my idea is and how that's going to play out and stuff like that. So basically, just to kind of reiterate everything, all we did here really was change the snare build. So it's actually a sampled synthesizer. So we just took the audio sample, turned it into a synthesizer here. I do need to double check to make sure that this snare build is saved in the project. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is, but if it's not, then I'll have to figure out a way to save it into the project so when I give it to you guys, it'll actually register as everything's being there. But yeah, so all we did there was turn that into a pitch snare build, and then we went over and just moved this one piece here so that we kind of... Actually, I have a little bit of time. Let's just give this tweak this, see if we get something weird. I'm gonna do this. I did this on one of my latest trance tracks that I'm actually gonna do an announcement for. But the idea is you get this, instead of having the bass note on the offbeat, you actually have it 1/16 of a note over, and then you do something like, actually this is, oops, I need to switch this to pencil. Tried to use that. Okay. And then I'll get rid of this here so I have more space. Oh shoot, I don't want that. Why, go away. Okay. So let me click that there so that it I have no idea why it's doing that. That's so weird. Oh, go away. I don't want you anymore. Okay, that should get rid of it. Thank you. Okay, so basically what I have it like right before the kick would happen, and then I have it smack dab in the middle. It sounds like this. Actually, let's try this. We'll put one there too, just to kind of see what happens. Yeah, we're gonna move it right back to the middle. And then that should sound about what I'm thinking about. Okay, so that's actually I think I like that a lot better than what it was before. So I'm gonna duplicate that whole thing. And then obviously for this fill, we'll have to move these down so they're not in the fill. Now, and then just for consistency's sake, if we're switching this over, that would mean we kind of have to switch this over as well. But I'm just gonna leave it as is so that we could, so I could kind of decide which one I want to do in the end. But because right now this one is, if it's gonna be like this staccato, I'm basically gonna need to pull it up. So, I don't know, I'm just going to switch this back to 0 dB and then we'll deal with that later. I don't want to spend too much time on this one because I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to take it. But one of the things I am going to mention that I do need to fix, and I'm not going to do in this one just because it'll take a little bit of time to, get it right. Now, the problem with this one, actually, do I recall correctly? Okay, so right now this one is just this whole thing, if I recall accurately. Yeah, this is just 3 supersaws. Now the problem with that is it kind of sounds thin. Now the mid that we have going on here, if I recall correctly, that one's not as thin, but it's still not heavy enough. So being a drop bass, you would want to add some sort of deep bass to this, which is something that I'd have to do. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to spend the time trying to mix it in, figure out exactly which one I want. I'll do that in the next video, but that is one of the things that I am going to need to touch on because you'll notice that it kind of just sounds like harsh, and it's balanced well, except for the fact that it doesn't have any bass. So that's one of the things I'm going to have to deal with, but like I said, for now, I think I'm just going to end this here just because I've talked about some things that I wanted to do, and I've also kind of I've done some other things, and I don't want to stuff too much stuff in one episode because then it gets confusing and hard to manage. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this, like it. If you have any comments, suggestions, or anything like that, throw them down in the comments below, and I will get back to you. Especially like I said, if you have any suggestions for something I could do here, that would be totally awesome because it'd be cool to work this out together. I know there's a couple people that have been sending me some suggestions, and it's really awesome to hear their feedback and what they'd like to see from this, and because it gives me an opportunity to show you how to work through some things. And it also, kind of sends this project in a more interesting direction. So, like I said, that's all I want to cover for now. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.